Olivia Newton-John, The Endless Song. On a Monday morning in August, when the Santa Ynez hills were already scorching under the California sun, she departed. Olivia Newton-John was 73 years old. In the company of the people she loved most, she passed away at home on the ranch she cherished. John Easterling, her 14-year spouse, was clutching one hand. Chloe, her daughter, was clutching the other. She could smell the lavender she had planted all around the place and hear the breeze in the pepper trees because the windows were open. There was no last-minute hospital rush, no stress, and no machinery. With a last smile and a gentle breath, she vanished. The enemy that had initially come on her door 30 years prior, breast cancer, was the cause. It returned twice, became quiet, returned once more, and eventually, in the summer of 2022, expanded so far that Olivia's unwavering determination was no longer able to keep up with it. Every step had been agonizing due to bone metastases. Her strength was stolen by the tumors in her spine and sacrum. However, they never took her light. After battling metastatic breast cancer for 30 years, Olivia Newton-John passed away. It started out as a tiny lump in 1992 and was found the weekend her father passed away from cancer. At 43, she was radiant and seemed unbeatable. She overcame radiation, chemotherapy, and surgery. "I'm a survivor, not a victim," she said to the Globe while constructing a wellness clinic in Melbourne. She was cancer-free for 25 years, singing, dancing, smiling, and thinking the story was finished. It wasn't. What she initially believed to be sciatica in May 2017 was really stage 4 breast cancer that had already spread to her sacrum and spine. Olivia refused to give up despite the enormous jolt. She continued to act when she could, began immunotherapy, and grew medicinal cannabis alongside John. "This is my life now, and I'm going to live it," she said candidly. The illness has advanced by 2020. Her lower spine was encircled by tumors that crushed nerves and prevented her from walking painlessly. The cancer scoffed at the time that radiation bought. For anything longer than the hallway, she needed a wheelchair, then a walker, and finally a cane. Nevertheless, she posted videos of herself singing from the porch, grinned for the cameras, and told interviewers, "I'm winning because I'm still here." Her lungs and liver developed new lesions in 2021. Morphine just made the scorching sensation less intense, but the pain persisted. Her once athletic physique shrank in soft cotton garments as she lost weight. Even though her voice, her crystal instrument, became breathy, she continued to use it to record messages for Chloe's future children and to duet with dolphins in Byron Bay, because they heal me. Early in 2022, the cancer spread to her brain, brief convulsions and moments of disorientation. She declined to be treated aggressively, which would have made her a stranger to herself. She said to John, "I want my final memories to be of love, not hospitals." Instead, they transported the hospital to the ranch, complete with oxygen, a morphine pump, and a bed by the window so she could keep an eye on the horses. Bone-deep fatigue characterized the last few months. Her sacrum was undermined by tumors to the point where sitting was excruciating. Her skin was damaged at the slightest contact, and her legs swelled. It hurt to breathe. However, each guest departed with the same comment. Her eyes continued to twinkle. Before allowing them to inquire about her life, she continued to inquire about theirs. The disease had won the battle it had begun 30 years ago by August 2022. It filled her organs, swamped her bones, and dulled the light that used to fill stadiums. The agony eventually subsided early on August 8th. She began to breathe more slowly, then barely at all. At the age of 43, the illness that had followed her across continents, making comebacks and comebacks inside comebacks, eventually took possession of her body. However, Olivia was never claimed by it. Her legs, her hair twice, her privacy, 30 years of anxiety, and ultimately her life were all taken by cancer. The happiness she infused into each day that remained, the hope she instilled in millions of terrified hearts, and the love that emanated from her, even as her body broke, were all too much for it to handle. On a bright Monday in California, Olivia Newton-John lost the longest battle of her life. She won it permanently in the same breath. Her body was taken by cancer, but the light, the music, and the kindness are now ours. They will also never, ever pass away. The prolonged, gorgeous battle. 1992. At the height of her success, she was 43 years old. She having just completed a global tour, Her albums continued to sell millions of copies, and the term Grease was still in use. A lump followed. A biopsy? The term malignant. She rushed home to Malibu, put off her North American tour, and dealt with it the way she dealt with everything. Head on in secret, smiling for the cameras, and crying only when no one was looking. The first time, she won. Radiation, chemotherapy, and surgery. In order to prevent others from feeling as alone as she did, she discreetly established the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Wellness and Research Center in Melbourne, wore wigs, cut her hair short, and assured everyone that she was all right. 25 years without cancer in 2017. Then, when performing in Las Vegas, she felt a searing discomfort in her lower back. Physicians believed sciatica. Something worse was revealed by scans. Phase 4, spread to the bone. Her heart was broken by the news, but her spirit was unaffected. She promised everyone, "I'm going to be okay," canceled performances, began immunotherapy, and planted additional cannabis on the property. John grew medical strains for her discomfort. "My goal is to live a long life." 2020. The cancer returned to her spine. For lengthy distances, she required a wheelchair, a walker, and finally a cane. She continued to share videos from the ranch, where she could be seen smiling with John, singing with Chloe, and touching the animals. Her eyes shone like the girl who danced in a fun fair at the conclusion of Grease, despite her thin, frail appearance. 2022. The pain persisted by spring. Her sacrum was encircled by the tumors. She was no longer able to walk the gardens by herself or ride horses. Wrapped in cozy blankets, she spent the most of her days in bed or on the porch swing, watching the sun set over the vineyards. Cliff Richard sang, "Suddenly," a cappella in her bedroom. Didi Khan brought pink lemonade, and John Travolta brought memories and emotions. "Keep going, I love this part," she whispered after listening and grinning. The ranch during her last months, her world revolved on the ranch in Santa Ynez. After purchasing it in 2006, she and John transformed it into a healing haven complete with organic gardens, rescue horses, a spa for cancer patients, and a recording studio where she continued to sing when her voice permitted. To save her from having to climb steps, the bedroom was moved downstairs in the past year. The old four-poster was replaced with a hospital bed, but since beauty matters, she covered it with the same floral duvet she had owned since the 1980s. She spent her mornings with her physical therapist, having tea and stretching gently. Calls, quiet time with John reading aloud from spiritual texts, or afternoons spent with guests. Evenings were sacred. The family would get together on the porch, sing ancient songs like "Hopelessly Devoted," "Have You Never Been Mellow," and "I Honestly Love You," while someone played a guitar. Olivia hit every note in her breathy, low voice. According to Chloe, the music she heard on those nights was the most exquisite. For as long as she could, she refused to use strong painkillers. She said to John, "I want to be here. I want to enjoy every moment I have left." She accepted the morphine with the same grace that she accepted everything else until the pain eventually got the better of her. She remarked, "It's just another journey." The final week. She was sleeping most of the time at the beginning of August. Her hands were chilly and slender, and her skin was nearly translucent. She still wanted to hear the birds, though, so she insisted on having the windows open. She requested Chloe to join her in singing Xanadu after waking up clear-eyed on Sunday, August 7th. Mother and daughter, their voices mixing like they did when Chloe was younger, sung the whole song. Olivia added, "I think tomorrow will be a good day to go," as she turned to face John once it was over. August 8th, 2022, Monday a.m. Over the hills, the sun rose gold. She was accompanied by Chloe and John. To give them solitude, the hospice nurse had gone outside. Olivia opened her eyes once more, stared at the light flowing through the window, and muttered, "It's beautiful." Then she let go and closed her eyes. John claims that even though nothing was in flower, the room was filled with the aroma of jasmine. Chloe claims that her mother gave her a gentle, butterfly-like kiss on the cheek. As if they knew, the pasture's horses all whinnied at once. The silence following. The funeral was not held in public. Years before, Olivia had organized everything. A little get-together at the ranch, her favorite songs, her ashes spread in the garden she cherished, and a portion of them sent to Byron Bay, Australia, where she had a home and a heart. With the message, Our beautiful Olivia has passed. John shared a picture of Olivia grinning in a white sundress on her Instagram. Love was all around her. The entire planet wept. "I Love You Forever" was written by John Travolta. On live television, Kylie Minogue sobbed as she sang, "Hopelessly Devoted." At the ranch's gates, admirers dropped pink balloons and flowers. However, the family complied with Olivia's request inside the home by laughing, playing music, and raising a champagne toast. Since she was just that, she made it about living even as she died. For 30 years, Olivia Newton-John transformed fear into love, agony into purpose, and cancer into hope. She departed from us on a Monday morning in August, but if you stand on a peaceful beach at dusk and pay close attention, you can still hear her singing clear and sweet, encouraging us all to continue dancing, be brave, and be kind. There was no more grease lightning. However, the music, it plays indefinitely.